Let's also hear. I wanted to. Sorry, Matt. I'll get you to jump off the back of this, but here's Daniel Andrews yet again, as it was with hotel quarantine. Apparently, very clear on the way in, but then it's all very messy, and now he can't possibly pinpoint the moment. I hope we have that grab. He can't pinpoint the moment where these decisions were being made.
Decisions are made by groups of people, and I can't necessarily pinpoint for you the exact individual and the exact moment that it was suggested that we put a curfew on. And what I'm saying to you is anyone who is displeased with that or doesn't think that's a proportionate measure, well, that's a decision that I've made. All these decisions are ultimately decisions that the government has made, and as the leader of the government, I'll be accountable for that.
Matt, how does that work? I mean, I'll be accountable for it doesn't mean anything.
No.
He's not accountable because he's not calling Parliament back, and I think Bronwyn was sort of mentioned this before. I mean, in my view, that is the key thing. I don't think the grounds are there for the governor to say dismiss the government. That would be a enormous precedent to set. But I would hope that the governor's talking to Dan Andrews about when and if Parliament will be recalled properly, because I added it up the other week. The Victorian Parliament had been back for 7 sitting days since March, and usually just to sit to pass legislation to give Dan Andrews basically super parliamentary powers, it didn't mean that he had to come back to Parliament. Because Bronwyn's right, I've been a minister too, and don't underestimate the importance of question time in our system that holds ministers to account, that makes them every day turn up and face an hour of questioning under parliamentary scrutiny where you must tell the truth. What Dan Andrews is doing is protecting his incompetent ministry by only appearing himself at a press conference where he can tell as many lies as he like, which you've highlighted here tonight, Paul, and it's an absolute subjugation of our democracy. Our democracy relies on Parliament sitting, and Parliament is not sitting right now in Victoria. It's a disgrace.
Yeah, it is truly confounding. But then also, what about this thing, Pauline, where as Bronwyn just mentioned, so local city elections are taking place in Victoria. Those local city elections now, of course, it's illegal for you to go and mow your mum's lawn. But it's completely okay for you to go and letterbox people if you want to get a spot on the local council.
That's right, and they're going to allow them 2 hours to actually walk around their electorate within a 5-kilometre distance radius. But how ridiculous. So again, it's for those representatives, whether it's local or state, and politicians. This is why people are so fed up with the politicians. It's all about them, and one set of rules for one and another set for another. For others. People are fed up with it. I get calls from the office constantly all the time from people from Victoria and say, come and help us, we've got to get out of this. And you talk about, in the governor not being able to step in and the rest of it. If you've got the upper house is made up of crossbenchers, then why can't they all band together and say, we're not going to support the government in the legislation and bring it to a total close, throw it back to the election for the people?
Well, they had their chance. They had that chance, and the Greens teamed up with Labor to give them. The Greens are always trumpet the fact that they're there to hold governments to account, and they failed. Yeah. They failed to do that. Now, Paul, what's the rating of your show? Can I ask?
We go all right. What's the rating? Right? At this time of night, we're probably not a G show.
I was going to raise the point, Paul. All right, okay. I was going to raise the point, Paul, that you can't go and cut your mum's grass, but you can go and cut other sort of grass, can't you, around other people's houses? So,
Very
double
true.
Standards are just through all of this. And look, there's always going to be some double standards, but I think what really grates people at the moment is there are double standards going for film stars, for rich people, for AFL football stars, but not for average people.
Okay,